technician here in the Moorepark pig unit. Some of my areas of responsibility are the data recording and the farrowing house management. So I'm going to do a few of these videos this year alongside Teagasc, the pig farm manager, who I'm sure you're all well used to seeing at this stage. So I know in the last video Teagasc talked about the first quarter of 2023. So for this video I'm just going to go a little bit before that and talk about 2022 on a whole, and in doing so I'll also talk about some areas that we're hoping to focus more on in 2023. So firstly, if we start with the sows, in 2022 we had a conception rate of 93% and then a farrowing rate of 89%. So this kind of stayed true with what we were seeing in 2021 as well. There wasn't much of a difference there. However, what we did see in the herd in 2022 was some abortions in the sows mid to late gestation, and when we looked at the data a bit more closely, we were able to attribute this mostly to seasonal infertility based on when it was happening within the herd. So this is something that we'd like to be able to try and focus on a bit more this year and see if there's anything that we can do differently to help that with our sows. Teagasc will have spoke about that we were starting the process of producing our own gilts on site and no longer buying in our F1s. So in doing this we had to change around the herd structure a little bit and make room so that we could purchase in purebreds to produce our F1 gilts. So what we've seen in the figures in 2022 is our parity profile changed quite a bit. So when you look at January 2022, our parity profile went from 0 to 6 in the herd, which we were quite happy with. And then if you compare that to January of 2023 this year, it's gone from 3 to 9 because we've no replacement gilts going into the herd. Along with this, we saw some uterine prolapses in the farrowing room, and we also saw that these sows weren't weaning numbers that we'd come to see with other sows. So our 13.5 was something more like 12 and 11 on these older sows, which you'd expect from parity 8 and 9. So we will be serving the first of these F1 gilts into the herd at the moment. So by around this time next year we should see that our parity profile starts to look a little bit better. Our older sows will have been culled out and we'll have a nice system going, and hopefully we'll be reaping the benefits of producing our own gilts on site and being able to be very selective on what ones make it into the herd. So that brings us on to our piglets. So in 2022, looking at the data, we've seen that the average birth weight of the piglets actually increased. So in 2021, the average birth weight of the piglets was 1.3 kilos, and this changed to 1.5 kilos in 2022. The increase in birth weight in our piglets has followed through into weaning as well. We've seen the average weaning weight of the pigs go from 8.1 kilos per pig in 2021 up to 8.6 kilos in 2022. To say in that though, there is quite a large range. So our piglets being weaned are going from 6.5 kilos all the way up to 12.5 kilos, which is quite a big difference. And something that I really want to focus on in line with this in 2023 is the amount of creep that the piglets are eating in the farrowing rooms. The piglets, or the litter of piglets, are eating anything from 3 kilos up to 10 kilos in the 16 days when they have access to the creep. So there's quite a big difference there, and they're the first results that we've gotten, but I'm hoping by the end of the summer that I should have a lot more to put together and see what is the average that a litter is eating and how this is correlating to the average weaned weights of these piglets. So that brings us on to our weaners. So the weaner stage, likewise with the piglets, the weight is still holding true, so that extra average birth weight that we see in the piglets is, you can see it all the way up to weaning and from weaners on to transfer. So when myself and Teagasc looked at the figures for 2022, we decided to make a change. So previously we would have moved the pigs at 47 days of age at transfer, So instead what we've decided is to move the pigs from the weaners over to finishers at 42 days of age. About a half a week in the difference, and our transfer weights per pig, we're seeing a decrease in about 2 kilos. So for 2022 we saw our pigs being transferred about 32 kilos, and so far this year we're seeing 30 kilos. However, that 2 kilos loss or drop, we're seeing, and we hope we will see the benefits of that in the finisher side, because the pigs have more room and space in the finisher side by moving over that half a week early, rather than being more cramped in the weaner side. So that'll bring us on now into the finisher section. Similarly, in the finisher section, we're putting a lot of focus into stocking density and feeder space allowance. This, combined with the earlier move out of the weaners, is having a positive impact on our sale weights. So we're currently achieving our target sale weights approximately 1 week quicker than what we were in 2022. Our pigs are ready for sale at an average of 21 weeks of life compared to 22 weeks in 2022. So that's it. That's a quick roundup of the facts and figures, and I suppose a look towards what we're hoping to focus more on in 2023.